night. I cannot sleep. I am on. If anybody joins me, it's a miracle unto itself. I have insomnia. Insomnia. So I'm drinking some juice. See if anybody comes on. Maybe, maybe not. I have insomnia. Oh my goodness. Can anybody else sleep? I am not sleeping. I am wide awake. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's true. It's true. I'm wide awake. Is anybody awake with me? Of course, it's 1 o'clock in the morning where I am. Hi, Karen. You know the feeling? Yes. I know. I don't know what's going on with me. I have moments like this where I have nights like this where I'm up. And I like to be up sometimes when everybody else is asleep, but tonight I'm up. And that's what it is. So I'm here. I thought I'd visit the village, see how everybody is, because it's been, let's see, 5 days. Well, 6 days without the village. And you know how I am without the village. I needed the village to come in and say hi. Um, for some reason, I'm not seeing my chat on my live. Why is that? I can't on my phone. I'm reading your comments from my phone. It's 10 past 6 here in Des Moines. Is it really? Karen, are you in Ireland? Hi, Ruth. Welcome. You know how I feel. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know the full moon's on Monday, but it's only Wednesday. But I wanted to read, um, I did want to read something about the full moon. For some reason, I'm not seeing my chat on my laptop, but I'm looking at my phone. So I'm going to get off the phone and go to what's going on astrological wise. Now, I'm not an astrologer, but today, like yesterday I was in a funk. Um, for some reason. Was anybody else? I was in a funk, and then today I was like more peppy. Monday I was like full of energy, like um yesterday was a little bit of a funk. Today, which was Wednesday, yesterday, I was better, and like now I can't sleep at all. So apparently the full moon, okay, so the full moon on Monday is in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is telling us, and if you follow astrology, it coincides with two major planetary aspects of 2019. Jupiter squares Neptune, and Neptune is my ruling sign because I'm Pisces. Saturn sextiles Neptune. So Neptune's like my ruling sign because I'm Pisces. So I'm not Sagittarius though. So it's also important because it's the last moon phase of the current eclipse cycle, which began with the January 5th solar eclipse. So this is a full moon to make your long-term dreams come true. So this full moon, interesting. So this full moon is encapsulates the two most important planetary aspects of this year, which I just described. So both aspects occur three times a year, but never as close as they do. Okay, so something's going on with Jupiter and Saturn. So Jupiter square Neptune and Mercury. Okay, I know Mercury retrograde is going in July, so we're not being affected by that. But anyway, I can't understand any of that, but I'm awake. That's all I can say. You're in Ireland, Karen, yeah. You left your two dogs out the back full of beans in the morning. So 10 o'clock, 10 past 6 in the morning, so it's early for you. Okay, so you're like 5 hours ahead of me. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm up. How is that? And what do? I decide to come online and do a live. Why not? Now, if my hair looks kind of lighter, it is because I have highlights in my hair right now. You can't really see, um, but I have highlights in my hair right now. My hair's kind of a mess, but anyway, that's what's going on with my hair, and I have insomnia. I'm wide awake, and cheers. Tomorrow or today is June 13th. I wish it was Friday the 13th. That would be even cooler, but it's not. But we're halfway through this month, which is crazy. June is really, I'm catching my, oh my God, I'm catching my table on fire because I have incense. Um, Hi, honey, you okay? Oh my goodness. Um, I just caught my table on fire. Anyway, so that's that. But I'm trying to adjust my lighting so you guys can see me. Last week I came on and I was blue for some reason. So, Karen, why were your dogs full of beans this morning? Does that mean full of energy? Full of beans? It's funny because I let the cats out. Well, I feed the cats in the morning. And you know how cats are. They wake up at like dawn or before dawn, like 4 o'clock in the morning. And they're full of beans as well. Ruth, it takes you a while to come off second shift. Yeah. Yeah, if you work nights or late at night, it takes you a while to unwind. I used to work a shift where um, I worked 3 to 11:30, and I would get home. This was back in the day. I'd get home and then I'd be up for a few hours just to unwind and relax and do some laundry or putz around and good night, honey. And and just try to like regroup, and it's hard. Then if you work overnights or like 12-hour shifts, that's even harder for your body to kind of adjust. I don't really know what I'm experiencing right now. I just, for some reason, I just cannot sleep. And I'll have periods like that where I'm a night owl naturally, but I'm also known to go to bed at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. But for some reason tonight, I'm just not, I'm up. So I'm up. What can I do? I'm up with you. And I can't read my comments on my laptop. I don't know why. So I'm looking at my phone. So anyway, um, Full moon's Monday. We did have a new moon this month, which was on Monday too. So it's kind of interesting that the planetary moon cycles or the moon phases are all following on a Monday, which is interesting. You only have the dogs 3 weeks. Rescue dog. They were found wandering the roads. Aw, they're so lovable. Aw, that's cool. So you took the dogs in. That's really cool. You did that. We don't in the United States. See, back when I was growing up, it was very common in the town that I grew up, which was small, to just see dogs wandering. They would hang out, they would just kind of freely roam. But now they have really strict leash laws here. So if you would see a dog wandering, either A, they're lost, or B, um, they've been abandoned. So they're kind of strict when it comes to dogs roaming. And but when it comes to cats, there's a lot of feral cats around, so cats are a little bit the laws are a little bit more lenient when it comes to cats, but dogs back in my day when I was growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, it wasn't unusual at all to just see dogs roaming around or in groups or just hanging out on the corner and just, nobody really paid attention to it. And it could have been just the neighbor dogs were out and stuff, but now they really cracked down on laws where I live, where it's more strict with um, dogs in particular, which is kind of weird. So if we ever see a dog that's roaming, we either, if they don't have a collar, they got out of the house or out of the yard. Um, or if you see a dog roaming around here that looks real skinny or hungry, then most likely it's been abandoned. My parents took in, about 12 years ago, they took in an abandoned dog. They rescued it near my father's workplace that was left. He was a puppy and he was just abandoned on the side of the road. And so they took him in, and he has since passed, but he was he was he was a handful, and he was the sweetest dog. And my daughter, when she was a baby, he was really hyper, but he was super super sweet to her. But he had to go through a doggy school because he was very aggressive towards other dogs. However, he was very sweet and excitable when he saw people, and he was very sweet to my daughter. He never did anything in anger towards her at all, but he was very aggressive towards other dogs in particular. So um, it's unfortunate. I don't know why people do that, why they don't take their animals to a shelter or to an animal control facility or a no-kill shelter. We have a no-kill shelter about 15 miles from here, um, just to take in their pets. So that's pretty cool that you rescued the dog or dogs. Yeah, Ruth has dogs too. Daisy and Duffy. That's so cool. I love that, Daisy and Duffy. Aw. Yeah, I wish we could have a dog, but where we live, the landlord won't let us have one. Um, So we have cats. You know about my cats. We have cats. And so the cats, they're inside outside cats, and they seem to do pretty well. They don't really go too far. We've had a few of them kind of take off over the last few years, but mostly they stay around the perimeter of the property. Sometimes a couple of them will roam. Um, but they always come back. So we only have cats right now. We did have fish for a while, but we don't have our fish tank going. So You can't find your glasses here. I need my glasses to read your comments. But for some reason, I cannot read comments on my laptop, which is weird. I don't understand that. I don't know why. It's different. It looks different. I installed a new program, so it looks different, and I didn't realize what it was going to do, but now I see. So, yeah, so speaking of animals, the video that I put up earlier about, can animals sense the supernatural is a topic, a subject that's been covered many, many times. Uh, but it's something that I find fascinating. And I wanted to go more in depth, but I wanted to keep it short. And I know many people can sense or pick up on other animals picking up on or sensing certain things sometimes that are not explainable. And everything that I bring to this channel is inspired by something that I've experienced 90% of the time. So I wanted to speak about that in a way where you guys can share your comments or your stories. And I just find it fascinating sometimes when the folklore that's out there when it comes to signs and superstitions of the animal kingdom, or signs and superstitions when it comes to birds, or signs and superstitions when it comes to certain um, folklore when it comes to certain types of insects like spiders or crows. There was a time, this was about 2 years ago or a year ago, I kept getting questions from people about crows. And I'm like, why do people keep asking me about crows? And people were having these sightings with crows. And they were having these sightings like, on their lunch break or their in their backyard. And what does this mean with all these crows? And I kept getting these questions about crows. And it was funny to me. I'm like, why do they keep asking me questions about crows? And then I thought, well, maybe it's because my other channel and my business name, I'm known as Nightbird. Nightbird. And maybe they think, well, she's considered Nightbird. Um, Maybe it has something to do, she must know something about what goes on with birds. But in all honesty, and I do in some aspects, uh, but I don't really consider Nightbird to be equivalent to a crow. But anyway, nonetheless, they kept asking me these questions. And so over time, from dealings with that, and then from my own interests, and then from my own experiences, I felt compelled to make that video. So if you've seen it or not, it's very short and not too long-winded, because I can go on for days. But I just wanted to kind of bring up the concept about how animals can or have the abilities to sense things that us as humans cannot. So um, anyway, let me grab a charger. My phone just died, and if you're commenting, I can't see it. And my lighting's really bad. All right, hold on. Be right back. Let me get my charge. Let's charge it up. Oh, let's see. Let's see if this works with my charge. Here's my charger. All right, there's your charger. Let's charge the phone. Phone's plugged in. I don't know if it's going to charge though. All right, it says my phone says 1%. Oh, of course. That's hilarious. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Only me. Only me. Let me see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to find myself. Okay, there's my video. So now I can watch my video, my comments. So now I can watch my video, my comments. Now I'm hearing myself speak. Oh wait. Okay, hold up, bear with me. Oh my goodness. I have insomnia and I can't understand what I'm doing. You love cats, Ruth? Yeah, for always adopt. That's the best thing. You're having your coffee out the back. Yeah. Cats, my my daughter's grown up with dogs from my parents and her father, but I've always had cats because they're easier. You can basically go to work, leave your cat, even if your cat's an outside cat, your cat's okay, and come home and your cat's going to come around because it's hungry or to see you and hang out. And they're just more independent and less maintenance, really. So when she was little, I got her first cat and I surprised her with it. And she was 3 years old. And I adopted a little orange tabby cat from the Humane Society here in town. I paid $75 and he got his shots and he got fixed. He was a boy. And I surprised her with it. And he was about 6 weeks old. And she was 3. And of course, she had to give it a girl's name. So she named it Lily. And he was a boy. And so we had Lily for about 5 years. And then we moved and he didn't like it. And so he ran off. He cats are very territorial. And he did not like where we moved to. He didn't like it. We had at that point a couple of other cats. He was not happy. And so he left. And I didn't, I tried to get him back and I found him and brought him back and he did not like it. He didn't want to be here and he took off. And I was like, okay, I respect that. So it was hard. It was hard on her. But having a cat was really, and there's something about cats because they crack me up. They have hilarious personalities. If you have more than one cat, they have different personalities. They have their own habits. They're funny, and they just have this way about them. And I don't know what it is about cats, but I prefer cats than dogs. That's just me. I would love to have a dog. Um, I grew up with dogs. I'd love to have a dog, but I'm just more of a cat person right now in my life, uh, just because that. But anyway. And he will eat you when you're dead. Oh my God. Yes, I've heard these horror stories about cats eating their owners when they're like found weeks later. That'll be me. No, please, no, please. That's scary. My cats, I don't think I'm that delicious. They'd probably be like, mm-mm. Because I love spicy food. And my body, I'd probably be too spicy for the cats. But anyway, I digress. I've heard stories about that. That's horrible. Yeah, so somebody actually commented on that video today, and they inspired me because we have these kittens. Spay and neuter your pets. Whoa, we have these kittens, and um, we haven't really named them. We've tried to name them, but then we're like, nah. We kind of gave them names, but then we kind of don't really want to get attached to them too much. So, uh, somebody commented, and they had this beautiful name that was French for queen, which was, I think it was Kauai or something. Now I can't remember, but it was beautiful, and I was like, oh my god, that's the name. That's the name for the girl kitten. So we'll see. I don't know. Cats creep you out, Karen? For real? Yeah, some people aren't cat people. People prefer bunnies, rabbits, fish, dogs, iguanas, bunny rabbits. Some people aren't cat people whatsoever. We train our cats. Um, we train our cats to go outside. We train them to go outside and do their biz. We train them, and so the last thing I want to do is scoop the poop, right? And our cats aren't inside cats. I've known people who have had cats who are strictly inside, and they go to the lengths of like declawing them and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I hate to walk into a place and it smells like cat piss because that's the worst smell in the world. But if you train your cat to go outside to pee pee and do their biz, it's much easier. And the only way really to do that is to kick them out. And you just gonna boom, you boot them out. You need to go outside, and then they start to learn, oh, I gotta go pee. And then they just kind of instinctively know to go outside and do their biz. But I hate the litter box. That's the worst thing in the world. Worst thing. There's a fella cat that comes into the garden, you feed him, and that's it. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that's sweet that you do that. We've had some stray cats come around here as well. Um, where we live, we get a multitude of different types of animals because we're kind of out in the country. So we've seen deer and foxes and bunnies and skunks and possums, and cats naturally. But in town, the feral cat population is a bit worse in town. So feral cats in general, just stray cats, are more of a problem in town. So, but one of our cats actually came back about a month and a half ago, and he had a huge gash behind his ear, and it kind of looked like something or an animal that has claws. He must have gotten into a fight, and it wasn't a cat. It wasn't a cat scratch. This was like a deep, penetrating uh, claw. And I thought, well, it's either a possum because they have sharp claws, or it could have been a raccoon. Because I've seen raccoons around here, but he had a huge wound behind his ear. That was really actually kind of bad. And so being kind of out in the country and there's woods and other stray animals and stuff. And this cat in particular is kind of little. He's not the smartest marble. He's not the sharpest tool in the box. So it didn't surprise me that one day he showed up with this ginormous I'm like, really? I mean, this cat used to lick the wall when it was a kitten. I'm like, what is going on? And then the other night, honest to God, last weekend, it showed up and it was raining. And so I said, I'm going to let the cats in because it's raining. I let all the four big cats in, and this one in particular had this thing stuck to its leg. I'm like, what is on its leg? And it looked like it was like a long paper that was sticking to its leg. And I didn't know what it was, but it just was a paper. But the paper was sticky. I'm like, what the hell is that? And so I took it off. He's walking around, with this thing on its leg. And I'm like, how long has he been walking around outside with this thing on his leg? And we were like, probably for like the last 3 hours. And so I go up to the cat and I take it off of its leg, off the cat's leg, and it was somebody's garbage it was in. And it looked like those sheets you can buy to make like bug traps, but it was a long, linear, sticky paper. But then it had all this hair on it. And I said, oh my God, it looks like somebody's been waxing their legs and they got a hold of somebody's wax strip for their body because of all this hair. And then my boyfriend's like, what? No, that's the cat's hair. And I was like, Jesus. So the cat's hair had basically come off on this. Anyway, I'm like, what a dumbass cat, right? So when I say personalities, these cats, honest to Betsy, have the funniest personalities and do the dumbest things. And you're like, what? Where did she get this? It's like, where did this cat get this from? Because it was from somebody's trash. And I'm like, what in the world? And anyway, it was funny. It was really funny, but the smell of cat's pee is ew. It is ew. Yeah, cat door. That works. Yeah, so I'm a cat person. I'm an old crazy cat lady. What can I say? I had an old friend of mine. She's since passed away, but she was a crazy old cat lady and she loved it. And she had at one time 8 cats and she named her number 8 cat. She named it 8. And I mean, what can you say about that? She named what should I name the 8th cat? And she came up with, I'm going to call it 8 because the cat had patterns on it that kind of looked like the number 8 and it was the 8th cat. And so she just called it 8, I thought was kind of clever. She called her 8th cat 8. But a bunch. Anyway, now it's 1:40. I've been on for 34 minutes. Hi, Crystal. Oh, am I up on your time? You just got off work. What am I doing up? I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Everybody's in bed, and I'm like, I don't know how many YouTube videos I can watch about the paranormal, not freak myself out, which I was watching Paranormal Files. I love that channel. And then I was like, I can't sleep. I don't feel like watching regular TV. And I just decided to come on. So I'm on. I'm on. I'm glad you're on with me. And I'm up on your time. What is your time? I know Karen's 5 hours ahead. Hi, Red Spirit. You took caffeine pills. I tried to sleep at 11 and no go. What'd you do that for? What'd you take caffeine? Caffeine pills for? Are you working to stay awake? Is that why you're taking caffeine pills? You know those little caffeine, they're caffeinated like B12. They're shots you can do. They sell them at like convenience stores, like caffeinated little, they're in little bottles. I bought one of those like 2 months ago and I have not yet used it. But it's like B12 or caffeine or something to give you 5-hour energy. It's still in my cupboard. I'm kind of afraid to use it because I'm like, what's it going to do to me? Am I going to be up for 24 hours? I mean, I just don't know. I've never taken stuff like that. I see people buying it all the time, and I'm like, hmm. And it was one of those days where I was like, it was working the grind. I'm like, cha-chung, cha-chung. And then I'm like, maybe I should get one of these. And then I bought one, but I never took it. So, you know what I mean? Ruth's in North Carolina. Okay, so Ruth, you're probably East Coast time, like me. You take the pills, will act like a supplement to help you. Oh, cool. Oh, Crystal's Eastern too. Yeah, so it's late. It's like it's 1:43 a.m. So it's late. This is probably the yeah, Ruth, you're East Coast. This is probably the latest I've ever come on live. And sometimes um this is probably not a bad idea because there are some people who are still up or working or can't sleep. And I just felt the call. I felt the call to come on live. So I'm glad that I did. What can I say? What can I say about that? Yeah, so if I stay awake like this, like I would go to sleep at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then I'd turn around and wake up at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. And so um this is what happens to me. Sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes this happens to me. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but I get like this. But naturally, I'm a night owl. I mean, I really am. I like to stay up. I'll get up super early too, but there's something about even if you live by yourself of being up past a certain time where you're doing something or you're reading or you're writing or you're watching something and it's late at night and you just kind of chilled out and the world is quiet around you. And there's just something about I like being up at night, but that's me. That's me, y'all. I like it both ways, I guess. You need stuff to get you to sleep, Karen. You hardly sleep. You move so fast like a greyhound. Can't stop till you drop. The moon messes with me a lot. The fuller it gets, the more I stay up. Full red moon on my birthday this month. Is it your birthday on the full moon? Happy birthday. Yeah, Monday's a full moon in Sagittarius. It's a strawberry moon. They have a lot of names for it, but happy birthday, Cancerian. Are you Gemini? Are we moving into Gemini yet? Or are you still Cancerian? You're a night person and love it. Yeah. I preferably prefer the night rather than early dawn, but I'll do early dawn. I'll do early dawn. You're Gemini. Hey. Let's see. Prince was a Gemini. Stevie Nicks is a Gemini. Well, Donald Trump's a Gemini. There's a lot of famous Geminis. There's a lot of famous Geminis, and um, my first love was a Gemini, so I'm totally down with the Gemini. I feel the Gemini. Amen, sister. F Donald Trump. Just my view. Lots of love. Yes. Can we all copy and paste that? F Donald Trump. Just my view. Lots of love. Girl, I hear you. Hear that. Trust. Oh, yes. Who? What was it? David Letterman just said he was a psychopath. Is that what came out in the news today? Your grandmother was a Gemini. Aw, that's sweet, Crystal. I like that. My grandmother, well, both of my grandmothers, this is weird. Let me think. Both of my grandmothers were Capricorns. My mom's mom and my dad's mom were both Capricorn. That's kind of strange. My father's father was Aries, and my mom's father was Cancer. But yeah, both of my grandmothers were Capricorn. I just realized that. That's really weird. Cancer homemaker, either love or highly dislike at a moment notice. So are you saying you're a Cancer homemaker yourself? I like being a witch, and Gemini can be light, but I can get really intuitive with the dark. Yes, absolutely. Taurus with Scorpio rising, very hard headed. Taurus are really fascinating people. Scorpio, my cousin's a Scorpio. My daughter's dad's a Scorpio. And my cousin, there's something about Scorpio with their eyes. Now, people say that about Pisces with their eyes, but the Scorpios that I've met, I know another Scorpio too. She's got gorgeous eyes. It's like, whoa. Scorpios have beautiful eyes. And, but, I never have anything bad to say about any of the signs. Uh, I know some people are down on certain signs for certain things, but I don't have anything bad to say about any sign. Ruth is a Taurus too. Crystal's Taurus. You're true to your sign, Red Spirit. That's good. Crystal's perceived as a Scorpio, but a Taurus. Everyone says I have cat eyes, very pretty. Yeah, Scorpios have really beautiful eyes. My cousin has jet black hair with sparkling, illuminating blue eyes, and they're captivating. You're like, whoa. You know how you can see somebody from across the room, but all you see are their eyes? It's that kind of look. It's like, um, big, beautiful eyes. You have trouble with Scorpio men, Sag, Libra, and Gemini are cool. I love Aquarius. Karen, Gemini, my daughter, is one born on the longest day of the year. Aww, summer solstice. Yes, I am Cancer, and I have to go get my Taurus up. Emmett. Oh, yeah, Emmett. How's Emmett doing? When you were using Emmett's account, it was Emmett, not Karen. That was funny night. Yeah, summer solstice. That's a beautiful day. Wow, that's coming up in 8 days. Holy moly. I love summer solstice. Everyone says I intimidate them, but underneath soft as cotton. Yeah, Scorpios can be intense. I think Scorpios can also be perceived as in really intense signs, and they can be. Uh, However, Scorpios are very sensitive, and Scorpios also, because of the sensitivity to things, I feel that they also hold a lot in. Um, and so, therefore, they kind of, more than Cancer does. I know Cancer is often perceived as putting a shell or having this hard outer layer, and deep down, cancers are real sensitives as well. But Scorpios are a little bit more intense with feeling. Scorpios don't forget things either, but who doesn't? I know Pisces doesn't. I'm Pisces. Neither does Virgo. Anyway, Red Spirit, YouTube keeps holding your comments, so I have to show or hide. You always get bitched around solstice. Solstice is a bitch. Bitchy. Oh, bitchy. That's cute. Why do you get bitchy around solstice? Crystals, your dad and stepdad are Pisces and so different. Pisces men are very different than Pisces women. Um, Pisces men, I've met some of the most seductive Pisces men. Seductive. And also very confused and lost. uh, Pisces men in general, me as a Pisces woman, I've had a lot of Pisces friends, men and women. Pisces women, um, really, we kind of feel to our core, we're pretty much, Pisces women are very loving and loyal. We're also very um, intuitive, but we're also very naive in a lot of things. And we always give the benefit of the doubt. Uh, we always give the benefit of the doubt first, which is probably not a good thing. But Pisces men can be very seductive. But Pisces men can also, um, just depends how your relationship is with them. I don't know. I really don't. I don't even know what I'm saying. um, Karen, he found out I was using and asked me about it. Oh my goodness. He didn't say much. Big guilty head on me, Bremmett. You said he was tiny. Well, I didn't mean tiny at that aspect, Karen. Oh my goodness. The energy. I'm a medium, but more energy sensitive than spirit energy changes. Interesting, Red Spirit. Tell me more about that. Crystal, ew, not my dad's. Yeah, no. You wouldn't want to find your dad seductive. A little weird. Uh, yeah, well, the only interaction I've had is with Pisces men romantically. One of my best friends is Pisces. Uh, Very creative people. Also, people who really are kind of self starters, really like to kind of work for themselves or want to, and also very ambitious. Pisces men. Gemini men are very ambitious as well. Uh, but Cancerian men in general, very driven, hardworking, but like they like home. They like to create a home. That's what I've found. Now, I've never been romantically involved with Aquarius, Libra, Taurus, Virgo, Sagittarius. There's some signs I haven't been romantically involved with. There's certain signs that I have been romantically involved with more than once. I don't know why. It wasn't like I'm seeking a Scorpio. It wasn't anything like that. It just kind of happened. So who knows? Your mom's a Virgo to a T. My father's a Virgo to a T. Yeah. Crystal, is your mom kind of like, does your mom have a tendency to be kind of like hypocritical? Uh, my father has a great sense of humor and a lot of wonderful attributes, but he's also very hypocritical to certain things. She doesn't get me, Taurus. Yeah. Well, you're both earth signs, you know. You're both earth signs. You call it something else. Yeah, my dad's funny. He's like he's always worried about what everybody else is going to think. It's always keeping up appearances. That's why I love that show, Keeping Up Appearances with Hyacinth. It's totally him. It's totally him. It's like, oh my God, he's Hyacinth. Uh, he's always worried about what everybody's going to think, but deep down, he, he's probably like the most grooviest person I've ever met. But he's always concerned what somebody's going to think, and it's like, relax, like who cares? But then he had me, so I don't care. He had a Pisces who doesn't really care what anybody thinks. Very organized girl. Very organized. Very organized. Great mathematicians. I don't know if your mom's really good at math. My father's a mathematician. A lot of wonderful attributes Virgo has, actually. I wish I had more Virgo in my chart. Yeah, very disciplined, organized. Can be overly critical about things. Logical. Great sense of intuition when it comes to other people. Real quick too, that I've noticed. So, I'm scooting my chair. Your father was a Leo, so is my son. Aw, that's cool. My best friend's a Leo. My auntie's a Leo. I love a Leo. Leo, I've had a lot of Leos in my life. For some reason, Leo has really been kind of like the backbone of of it's been the backbone of support for me my whole life. Leo's always championed Pisces. Leo's championed. Leo's really kind of see what other people are capable of. They see your gift, or they see your greatness, and they want you to catapult it out there. They want you to put it out there. They're really good about that. They're very social. Um, they're very Pisces have a tendency. I'm very overt right now on camera, but I'm very much an introvert. I spend a lot of my days by myself, and I kind of prefer that. But Leo's very social, and they're very dynamic and doing that. Way more comfortable than I would ever be, honestly. Um, I can turn it on, but I love a Leo. I've always had Leos in my life for some reason. And it's funny too, because when you think about it, if you look at your circle of friends or your family or your romantic partners, you kind of have this tendency, if you think about it, that you attract the same, not just the same type of person, but the same sign. If you have a tendency to attract the same sign more than once, then really just throw out all the astrology books, because whether you're compatible or not, if you keep attracting like the same sign, there must be something that really gels with you spiritually. That's how I look at it. So, but I do have a good book called Linda. Do you guys remember the astrologer Linda Goodman? Linda Goodman put out a lot of books back in the day, but she's got some really good books on astrology. That's old school, but you don't get along with Leo men. Fight for alpha here. Oh, yeah. You've had every sign, but not Leo? Weird. Excuse me, that is weird. Well, I've never had, I've had, I have friendships with people who are Libra, but I've never been romantically involved with Libra. I've never been romantically involved with Sagittarius. I've never been romantically involved with Capricorn, even though I have Capricorns in my life. I've never been romantically involved with Aquarius. I don't think I've ever been romantically involved with Taurus either. So there's 5 signs. So, yeah, you always attract Leo and we don't get along. So, Crystal, what's up with that? So, Crystal, if your sun sign Scorpio and you always attract Leo and we don't get along. Interesting. That's kind of fascinating. Well, when it comes to Leos, you have to take your dog out. That's all right, girl. Um, when it comes to Leo, especially Leo men, the ones that I've had are your Taurus. The ones that are you have Scorpio in your chart, or am I imagining this? Um, the ones that I've had encounters with for Leo, I think Leo in particular, especially Leo men, have a vision. They have a vision of their ideal romantic partner, and I think they kind of try to seek out pieces of that person in a lot of different people until they find their muse. Okay, so Leo men, well, Leos that I've experienced are very passionate, very creative, and also have a tendency for wandering eye. So the Geminis. So anyway, I don't know, but Leo men are very they like to be the center of attention. But what Leo doesn't? All the Leos that I've known, all the Leos I've known all my life always want to be the center of attention. There's no getting away. There's no getting around it. Forget it. You cannot get around that with a Leo. They love it. Love it. It doesn't matter if it's like a room full of 50 people, 1,000 people, or 5 people. That Leo, and I will testify to this, they will make themselves somehow the center of the room. Somehow. Whether it's telling a joke or breaking into song or start playing their guitar or whatever it is, start doing the conga line. Um, it's just going to happen. It's going to happen, girl. That's why you gotta love a Leo. Love him or hate him. I don't know. Your son's a Leo, so is my father. I made myself sound like a slut there. Oh my goodness. Oh, Crystal, you're Scorpio rising. Virgo moon. I like that. Your Emmett's a Taurus, yes. Emmett's a Taurus. Well, everybody knows my trucker boyfriend's a Cancer. He's Cancerian. He's actually the first Cancer that I've been with, I think. I mean, I don't know. Back in the day, we really didn't say, what's your sign and when's your birthday? I mean, but yeah, he's the first Cancerian I've been with. Like, like committed relationship with. And he loves to nest. He's a huge nester. Huge. When I'm like, let's go do something, he's just like, oh, why don't we order a pizza and like watch a movie or something? And he loves to nest. He loves more than I do. He loves his house. He loves his home. He loves to nest. He's a nester. Yeah. Where I'm like, come on, I want to go have some fun. I'm gonna try to like convince him one night to like go to the casino or do something. Let's shake it up a little. Maybe I can convince him of that. Let's just go play the penny machines or the nickel machines. You guys gamble? I haven't gambled in like 15 years, but he'll buy scratch off tickets, which are fun. But it would be kind of fun to go to the casino. Hi, Colette. How are you? It's been a long time. Or has it? How long has it been? I'm glad you're on in the village. I can't sleep. I've been on for an hour now and I cannot sleep, as you can tell. I don't know what's going on with me. And how long have you two been together? Crystal asks. We've been together now, June. Oh my, 3.5 years? About 3.5 years. I met him I met him almost 4 years ago. And then we became friends and we talked for 3 months, hung out and talked. We were friends for 3 months. And he asked me out, and which is a story in itself. And then I didn't see him for like 3 weeks. And then one day, well, yeah, I didn't see him for like a month. And then one day, um, he showed up and said, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, and then that just kind of happened. So yeah, it's been almost, well, it's been 3.5 years. It feels like it's been longer. It feels like it's been longer. You're throwing down some paint. What are you painting? What are you painting? Well, I guess it feels like we've been together longer because we lived together. We both had children the same age, and it's a blended family. And so it's work. And so it's like, it's not like we're just dating and I have my own place and he has his own place and we don't have children. So it's like, it's very different. So it's been work, blended families and all that stuff. But I don't know. We managed to make it work somehow. And it's kind of interesting because we were both single parents when we met. So it was like, so it's kind of weird how we met. I don't know why. I don't know. I have a tendency to when you think, uh that you'll meet somebody on vacation or you'll meet somebody from afar, distant traveler. I always, when they say it's literally right in front of you, it's literally right in front of you. That's how it seems to work for me. Honest to Betsy, it's always right in front of me. When I think back on it, I did not have to look. It just kind of showed up right in front of me. Pouring paint you can hang on the wall. Nice. What colors are we doing? I like to paint. You're the same way. Boyfriend has to remind me how long we've been together, and I'm like, you should. I am like, you sure? Geez. Well, how long have you guys been together? I also bling out nails ready to wear, and also toenails. Make Victorian dollhouse. Colette, that's cool. Peacock colors, that sounds fun. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't have any bling on my nails tonight. Um, I did last week, I had the bling. This week, I'm just coming all natural French tip. My boyfriend's like, "Ugh, much better, thank God. I was tired of looking at this. They're reminding me of kindergarten paintings." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "They were fun for summer." He's like, "Kindergarten paintings." Like, what are you talking about? I like them. They're fun for me. Not functional, but fun. That's what it's all about. Functionality. 6 years, according to him. That's a long time, girlfriend. Yeah, 6 years. Good for you, girl. 6 years. I must have a commitment phobia because I've never been with anybody longer than 5. So we'll see how long this one lasts. I've never been in a relationship longer than 5 years. I don't know if that's me or if that's the universe or it's just God's plan. You don't wear them, Colette, because I design them. Oh, you design them for other people? Oh, nice. He's on thin ice. Girl, you preach that. Mm, preach it. I was in, well, I was on thin ice earlier because do you guys ever have people come up to your door and they're wanting to sell you meat? You know, they drive around these vans and trucks and they're selling meat out of their truck. You know, meat for sale. It's like a meat company. Like steaks. They're like frozen, flash frozen, and they're packaged and all this stuff, right? Well, in my town, you'll see them every now and then. You know, they come knock on your door. We have all these steaks and burgers and meats, and we'll sell them to you for like $200. And you're like, okay, great. Um, well, one showed up, and so I was in a friendly mood. And he came up. I saw him get out of the van, and greet me at the door, and I'm like, I already knew why he was here. Why I used to say to these people, I'm vegetarian. I don't eat meat. Well, you can't argue with that. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, okay, have a nice day. So I used to say that. Well, I didn't this time because last summer, uh, boyfriend actually bought some steaks from a company that drives around and sells meat out of the van. And he loved them. And so I got excited. I'm like, here comes the meat people, you know. So bad timing, right? They pull up. He's in the bathroom, in the shower. I had no idea what was going on. This guy was super sweet, super funny, real nice guy. Well, he didn't like it. He got pissed off. Why did you let a strange person into the house? They're not here for an appointment, or if you don't know them, they should not be allowed in the house. They were casing the joint. Like, what are they casing the joint for? What are they going to take? Uh, a batch of kittens, some candles. I mean, what? I mean, what is there? But he got so upset with me, and so I was like, dude, he was nice. There was nothing weird that I got weird vibey vibe from him. Yeah, he just, I let him walk in. So what? But he didn't like that. So next time I'm just gonna have to be like, I'm sorry, I'm vegetarian. I mean, but you see these guys driving, and he really wanted to sell this meat. He was trying to make me a deal. He really wanted to sell it. And I was like, dude, I can't say yes to nothing And I actually said this until the man of the house comes to look at it. Okay. I just can't. Um, and so I felt bad, but what can I do? What can you do? I mean, I just don't know. You let the man in the house. I let the man in the house. Yes, I did. And then, of course, he's like, was he good? Because he didn't see him. He's in the bathroom. Was he good looking? Did you get his number? I'm like, what? No. He was here and showed me the meat. It was all laid out on the floor, all the chickens, all the steaks, all the steak burgers. I was just looking at the meat. That was it. I offered him a bottle of water. He looked hot. You know, never again. Don't let the man selling the meat into the house. You don't know these people. I'm like, I was just being friendly. So they get paid by commission. Who wants the meat man? No, he is actually a really funny guy. Um, I don't know. He's just kind of funny. It was just, I don't know what happened to me. I just had this moment of, this is fun. Let's see what products he has to offer. Kind of like the Avon lady, ding dong, knocking on your door. I want to see what samples she has. And it was just kind of fun to look at all the chicken, all the steak, knowing I was not going to spend $150 and buy all his meat, but it was like, damn. So, but the man of the house did not like that. He did not. He didn't. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I missed Colette's comment. What? Crystal, my daughter's father used to sell me like that. Are you dying? Oh. So do they get paid by commission? Is that how they can like tweak the cost of things? Because he kept lowering his price. He kept lowering his price. And then I was like, I felt bad because you could tell he really wanted to unload this meat. And I was like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it went from how you doing, da 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 da, and then the next thing I know, he's in the house and he's got freaking 12 boxes of meat on the floor. That had no room on the table, and I'm just looking at all the meat. And meanwhile, a man in the house is in the shower. I said, the meat guy's here. He wants you to look at his meat. And then he says, I'm in the damn shower. Why the hell did you let him into the house? And I'm like, well, I thought you wanted to look at the meat because you loved it last summer. So he did not, he didn't go for that. He wants the meat man. Oh my goodness. I would have said he was really hot. Wish you weren't in the shower. Oh no, he didn't even see what the guy looked like, but he still was like, was he good looking? Did you get his number? I'm like, what are you talking about? Which was kind of cute because I was like, oh, we're getting little jelly here. I like this. Kind of makes me feel like we're really in this together as a commitment. No, I know that we are, but when your man gets a little jealous, you're like, I kind of like that sometimes. Not super duper crazy jealous, but something like that. Yeah. I was like, you're jealous of the meat man that I let into the house when you were in the shower. Oops. Sorry. I didn't realize what I did. good meats, but only get paid if they sell them. Oh, don't let them in the house. I know, it was so easy. He this guy was good. It was well, first when he pulled up, all the kittens were outside, and I was like, "Would you like a kitten? You can have one." And then he goes, "I'm here to sell you something, and you're already trying to sell me a kitten." I'm like, "Uh-huh." And then we're talking, and the next thing you know, he's in the house with boxes of meat. I'm like, "How did he do that so fast?" It's like, zoom. So they're pretty slick. I mean, I don't even know how he got in here. I was like, and then he's like, "I'll be right back." And then I'm like, "Okay," thinking he's going to go get a business card. No, he comes back with literally 2 boxes full of meat to showcase to me. Never again. And then I get into a whole bunch of trouble. And these meat people will sneak up on you. They sneak up. But he's only doing his job. He's working. He's trying to make a sale for his family. I get it, but it was fast how the meat just appeared. I was like, anyway. Back again, got Emmett up. I got a terrible fright. The amount of bars I ate last night. What did you eat? You know he cares, yes. Daughter's father is convicted felon. Got a job there. Keep out of house. Oh, that's what he was saying to me. You don't know where they're from. You don't know. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Mm-mm-mm. He was fast. He was fast mover. He's fast. Meat and two veggie. He was quick. He was quick. Yeah, he was right. I don't know. I just had one of those moments where it was like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. You know, this man looked worn out. I was like, "Oh, come on in, and would you like a bottle of water?" And yada, yada, yada. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that because when I told him he's trying to sell it to me for 150 for all those meats, I was like, I can't really give you an answer. The man in the house, he's in the shower right now. And then you could see the disappointment. He's like, "Oh, okay, all right, all right, all right." And he's boxing up all the meat. And I felt bad, and I could tell he was like a little pissed. But I was like, "Dude, I didn't say, oh, can you bring in all your meats and unpackage them in front of me like diamonds?" I didn't request that. He just did it. And then I felt bad. So I'm gonna have to go back to the vegetarian excuse. I used to do that all the time. "Nope, I'm vegetarian, I don't eat meat." And they would literally be like, "Oh, man, alright, 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 have a good day." I'm like, "Uh-huh." But, that's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. "I'm vegetarian," or "You're vegan," or I'm on a no meat diet," or felons or hustlers. He was hustling, and he was, and I almost said to him towards the end, "Well, you're really hustling, maybe there's other people in the neighborhood." I almost said to him, "You're really hustling." I was like, "No, I shouldn't say that he's hustling because he was hustling. He was hustling." Oh my God. You can get meat, but hustle them down and go outside. Yeah. Oh my god. And then when I gave him the bottle of water, he chugged it like he had not drank a day in his life. I was like, "Man, he must be, like, really thirsty." And then I felt bad for him because you could kinda see that he hadn't had a damn sail all day. And I felt bad. I was like, "Mm, I know that feeling, girl." And I was just like, I feel really bad for you right now. Maybe that's why I let him in, but next time I won't do it. I won't do it." But he got so upset with me. He did. He got so upset. Oh my god. And then he had to compare it to because where we used to live, um, we had a lot of solicitors, who were trying to convert us to a particular religion. And he's like, "You wouldn't let them in the door, but you let the meat man walk into the house." I'm like, "Yeah, he was friendly and he was funny, and why not?" And he goes, "All I heard from the shower was you giggling and carrying on and having conversations with the meat man." I'm like, "So?" And then that was he good looking? Did you get his number? Maybe he was good looking. I don't even remember. I mean, he was friendly. I had a lapse. I had a lapse in judgment. I did. Oh my God. I really did. I had a lapse. He had no money, hadn't sold anything, so thirsty. Yeah, he chugged that water in like 3 seconds, like glug, 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 gone. I was like, damn. Omega meats, no. What was he called? I think he came out of Baltimore. He was like down near Baltimore. I don't remember what they were called now. It's all a blur. The meat looked good though. Crystal, that's hilarious. Oh my God. I let the fella meet me in the house. What's wrong with me? It is good. The meat is really good. It's good. Well, last summer he got some, and you know how they flash freeze it? Well, he didn't understand how to cook it. I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do." And he says, "But it's freeze. It's the air is taken out of the package. So you're not supposed to open the package. You're supposed to keep it in the package." And it was super tasty meat. And so this meat was the same way. I don't know what makes it so expensive though. But yeah, it is good meat though. I don't know where it comes from, where they get it, who packages it, but that is some hustler prime rib because it got me in trouble. In trouble. Meanwhile, the mailman is leaving us notes. The mailman leaves us notes. "You need to trim your trees back. Thank you. Your mail carrier." Because our trees will start to hang over the mailbox. And meanwhile, the mailman's leaving us notes. Any day now, if we don't trim them back, we will not get our mail. The freaking Hustler meat truck showed up, and I just don't know what to make of it. It's summertime. It's like everybody, I just don't know what to make of it. You know, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you buy the meat in bulk. Oh, yeah, he had a lot of it. There was a lot of it was a lot. Chicken, honey mustard chicken, teriyaki chicken, showed me all the chickens, chicken tenders, all the marinated chicken breasts, and all the meats. And I was just dazzled. I was like, wow, with no intention of buying anything. I was just dazzled by it. I was like, look at that. Um, Mailman left a note on your car that said, don't park too close to mailbox. Now you park extra close. Oh, Crystal Mackenzie, that is hilarious. Yeah, screw them. You know, you can't get that crazy little mailman Jeep through the freaking tree limb. Oh, yes, you can. I've seen them plow through snow plows and freaking, 5 feet of snow up to here. Those little mail wagons can get around. They ain't fooling nobody. I don't know why our trees are hanging like that. It was at mom's house, so it's her mail. Yeah, get out of the damn truck, lazy. Because when we have to get the mail, we have, you know how long the mailbox is, right? He will take the mail, boom, and throw it all the way to the back. So we can't walk to our mailbox. We have to drive because it's on the other side of our house. And the other side of the house is nothing but a hill. And so you can't walk to the mailbox unless you would like to roll down the hill to get your mail. We have to drive around the corner, honest to God, make a U turn, pull up as close as we can to reach into the mailbox, and they always throw it towards the back of he must go bing and just flings it into the back of the mailbox. And so you're in the car, and so what do you got to do? I have to open the door because my arm's so short and actually get out of the car and pull it out. And I feel like leave a note saying, well, I know our trees are a problem, but because the way that you were throwing our mail, like it's the first pitch at Yankee Stadium for the season, I have to literally get out of my car and reach for it because my arms are not as long as yours. That's what I feel like writing. Of course, that may start a shit storm. So, honest to God, disgruntled. True, what they say. They don't care. No, it's like bing, boom. The mail's always to the back. I'm like, God, each and every time. We all complain about it. The kids complain about it. Man of the house complains about it. I complain about it. I'm just like, oh my God. And then now the tree's in his mail carrier's way. And then he writes it on a post-it that says literally at the top of the post-it, it must be something that he has like a booklet of. It's printed and it says, things I forgot to do yesterday. I'm like, oh, what? What? Who created that? A post-it thing that literally says things I forgot to do yesterday. What anal retentive made up that Post-it? Because that's bullshit. And then his snarky little, "You need to trim your trees back." I'm like, I feel like writing on the back of it and putting it back in the mailbox. No, you need to quit flinging the mail towards the end of the freaking mailbox. How's that for starters? You know, that's how I feel. But they'll stop. They'll stop. I have no say. He's government worker. I have no say. He will get pissed and he will not deliver the mail. And then I have to drive 6 miles to the mailbox or to the mailbox, to the post office to retrieve and stand in line for 20 minutes to get my mail. It's crazy. It's my life this week. That's it. It is. Ugh. The meat truck, the mailman, everything's with M's. Everything's with M's. And then this weekend's Father's Day. And I never realized that when it's Father's Day, you know, okay, it's Father's Day. It's not a national holiday. It's Father's Day. That it's on a weekend. Your weekend should kind of be a little open. No, not my father's weekend. I have to like give him 2 weeks advance notice to schedule Father's Day with him. He literally said to me, "Oh, is it Father's Day this weekend?" I said, "Yeah, you want to do something?" "Oh, well, you should have given me more notice. I have this, and I'm doing this, I'm doing this." I'm like, "Really?" And then he's like, "How about Saturday?" I'm like, "Sure." I mean, I gotta make an appointment to spend to see you on Father's Day. Are you serious? So, ugh, I just can't. I can't. I just can't. I just don't know. I mean, really? Okay, we'll live it up on the day before Father's Day, but he's already. I have to give him more advance notice. And my father's retired. I mean, I just don't understand that. He's got plans. But it is what it is. So what can I say? I'm very blessed to still have my dad. Um, if you ever wonder where this comes from, it's all him. And maybe other things and other people, but it's all him. You don't do Father's Day. Your dad disowned me. What? Crystal. Girl, I've had those moments too. My father and I love my dad. I call him my Italian mother. He raised me. Um, I love him. I'm a lot like him. I look a lot like him. I act a lot like him. And he is an incredible person, very talented, very gifted, very psychic himself. Uh, and I know that he loves me. I love him too, but I don't need to schedule with you on Father's Day. I just don't. I don't need to schedule with you on Father's Day. Really? So I don't know. Relationships are difficult, especially when you become an adult. I've noticed as an adult, my family relationships have been particularly uh, strange at times. And I never pictured that. I never pictured that. And I don't know if it's because I'm an adult now, I'm middle aged or whatever it is, but it's interesting. And I guess it's because at some point you kind of realize, oh wow, my parents are people too, they're people, and and there's just certain things that you kind of you when you formulate your own lifestyles or habits or independent thoughts, that are a little different. Um, it's interesting. But anyway, it's Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day. My best friend's mom, who I talked about earlier, who had all the cats, she raised both of her kids by herself. Wonderful woman. She was a journalist. She was a wonderful, beautiful person. Funny. I miss her every day. Loved her. She was like my second mom. Loved her. Anyway, on Father's Day, both of her children would give her Father's Day cards for Father's Day because their father had disowned them. Um, and so every Father's Day, they would give their mom a Father's Day card, and she loved it. Thought that was great. So you're just alike and mean as snakes, is how he put it. Doesn't like who I date, so disown me. Yeah, that's not cool. You only speak to your mom and stepdad. Me and sister don't like each other either. Very different, so different. Yeah, you know. Well, at least you have a good relationship with your mother and your stepdad. Estrangement, family estrangement, when you're an adult, is quite common. So don't ever think that you're just the 2%. It's actually very common. It's more common, and it's unfortunate, especially in American culture. And there's a study that was put out by, I think I was reading about Psychology Today, how estrangement or family estrangement in American society is more prevalent and more common than other countries around the world. And and it's because a lot of things with who you're dating or where you live or where you work or what you do. And I think or your beliefs or whatever it is. I don't know how we as a culture or as a country fall into complacency when it comes to judging our blood, judging our own, judging our own family members, and casting them off. I think it's wrong and it's unfortunate. And um, the only thing that I can say is, and I've experienced some of that, but from different angles, is just be true to yourself because honestly, you will start to notice if you hold on to that hurt of rejection from your dad or your sister, whatever's going on with her. If you hold on to that hurt and dwell on it and stew in it, you're going to become worse and you'll become more hurt. And the thing of it is, there's a gift that is hidden in there. Then it's the gift of freedom for you to actually live your life on your own terms and live your life in independent thought and live your life authentically the way that you want to live it. And you don't have to worry about how anybody thinks about it or how they feel about it. And you don't need to apologize to anybody about it. So, um, and that's a hard pill to swallow. So, for my experience, I I would be kind of considered right now in my family dynamic the black sheep of my family, um, because I'm not keeping up appearances or I'm not the norm. I'm hard to describe to people. I'm hard to describe to other family members when they ask, what I'm up to or what is, what is Brooke doing now or what is Brooke up to? Because everybody asks that question. And so it's been hard for my father to articulate to other people what I do. Um, and at the same time, it's also one where I think people put too much placement on labels or on what your title should be. And so I've really come up against 100%, and I'm not kidding, of um, being the black sheep. I'm the black sheep of my family in a lot of ways. Not with my father, not with my aunts that I'm close to, but with other parts of the family. I'm the black sheep. And I don't give a fuck. I'm okay with that because now I don't have to worry about criticisms or judgments or how they perceive me or how they want me to act or how they want me to be because I'm free of that now. And I may sound kind of cocky saying that, but that's been the last 3 years of my life. So I've kind of been like, poof, because I'm used to it now. Um, I've been outcasted. I've been dropped from family gatherings. I've been dropped from Christmases. I've been dropped from celebrations. I've been dropped from, completely dropped from a whole extension of family that won't have anything to do with me now. So that was the price that I paid for me to actually speak my truth and live my truth. And it was something that I knew that somehow I would, and I didn't know it at the time, but I knew that I would have to sacrifice something for me to live authentically the way that I want to live with who I truly am, and that people weren't going to like it. And that's what I had to do because I was slowly dying inside. I was slowly dying, trying to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't, trying to live up to other people's standards, trying to put on a fake smile and everything's great. And I'm just like dying inside and hating my life and myself. And that ended for me 5 years ago. And the last 3 years is when people kind of took notice. And then when I kind of stood up for myself in certain situations in regards to certain relationships in the family that were toxic to me and spoke my truth, is when I became blacklisted. Blacklisted. So that's okay by me. And I don't even feel sad about it. I did in the beginning, but not anymore. So, and you hear a lot of stories about people like that have to go through that. And I kind of, at the beginning of this, I was like, man, I just kind of have this feeling like something's just not going to be right with me and my family after this. And I was scared because of that. I was super duper scared because of that. And it happened. It happened. And so it is what it is. I mean, I can't take it back. And you can never, I think that, excuse me, the worst thing to do is to live up to other people's expectations because you're, excuse me, giving your power of your life and your choices, I got the hiccups, up to them. And that's not living your life. That's living somebody else's life or what they want for you. Now I got so excited I got the hiccups. You don't get invited to family functions to start your own traditions. Yes. And that's what I'm doing too. That's what I'm doing too. And in the beginning it was kind of like it was really painful because I was watching all the other family members get invited but myself, and it was heartbreaking. It was probably the worst rejection I'd ever felt in my life, and it was heartbreaking. It was a pain that I can't describe when you feel like your whole family has kinda walked away or turned their back on you, and it was heartbreaking, and I was very depressed. I'd cry. I would wake up crying in the middle of the night about it, and now it's become something where I feel that I'm more stronger, and I feel like I'm more in control of it. So, it's just unfortunate, but that's excuse me, that's where I don't know, I got the hiccups, I'm all verklempt. That's where people lose and miss out on how special you are because it scares them for some reason, or it makes them uncomfortable, or they don't like it. So, ultimately, they're missing out. So, same here, you like my channel. That's You like my channel so much. Thank you, Crystal. I'm the one that opened up to mediums. Yeah. You went on Facebook and they had pics of your siblings. It said all the kids. I wasn't there. Yeah, I know that feeling too. Yep, I know that feeling too. If you walk into my parents' home right now, you won't see a picture of me. There are no pictures of me. And I remember realizing there were no pictures of me about 5, 6 years ago, and I actually searched the house for pictures of me, and I found one picture of me down in the basement, which is a finished basement, inside of a bookshelf on the wall. There was a little picture of me that my dad always liked, and of me when I was about, uh, 28 years old, and there were no other pictures of me. There are pictures of my dad and his wife and her family, and my dad's, mom and dad and his family, and, of course, my daughter and other members of the family, but there are no pictures of me. And I remember this was 6 years ago before anything ever happened, and I remember feeling like, "Huh, that's weird." And when you walk into this house, there are no pictures of me anywhere, and I just remember thinking, "What did I do? What did I do?" And at the time, I had a good paying job. I was working full time, but it was a job that I hated. It looked good on paper though, and everything else was, you know, going fine in my life. And it just seemed like I was a disappointment when I saw that. Am I a disappointment? Am I an embarrassment? Why aren't there any pictures of me? And I never brought it up or said anything. I'm not crying, my eyes are watering. And because of my hiccups, but um I noticed it and it stood out to me. And I remember that feeling of like, what did I do? Why aren't there pictures of me in this house that I grew up in? Like, what did I do that was so wrong to these people? Like, what am I such a disappointment? I'm a grown woman. What did I do? And to this day, I still don't understand it. I think that there's a level of expectation that family members in particular, or parents specifically have for their children. They want them to live up to a certain status, economic status, for them to talk about and brag about to other people. Um, there's something about that, and I just don't understand that. So it just depends. Not everybody's family, but it just depends upon uh, what level your family focuses on that stuff with, and how important it is for them. Obviously, for my family, my, my parents, it was important, and it is important for them. So for me to be, I'm a clairvoyant medium, and I'm a tarot reader, and I've got YouTube channels, and I do this and I do that. To them, that's not normal. Um, that's not something to brag about. That must be um, like, are you serious? Like, who knows? I don't even think they take it serious. I don't even think they understand what I do. So, and that's okay, because you really don't have to explain people. You don't really have to explain yourself to people. You don't have to explain who you are to people that don't want to understand who you are to begin with in the first place. And I don't care if it was your mother who birthed you, your father who helped create you, your sibling who you grew up with, your, best friend from way back in the day, or whoever it is. Um, you just can't. You just can't try to explain yourself. So I totally get that. So my whole point was with this whole thing until I got the hiccups was the fact of Father's Day and having to schedule Father's Day with my father, which was weird. Um, because he had more important things to do, obviously, on Father's Day. And, the only things I can take away from that kind of thing is I hope that I never treat my child like that. I don't care if she's 35 or 45 and I'm still around, um, or 25, or if she's 15. I'm never going I hope to God I never have to schedule Mother's Day with her, or make her feel like I have to schedule something with her, or that, something else is more important. So, but that's the reality of what's going on. Anyway, blah, blah. Um, Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't get rid of these hiccups. Yours is because your dad's racist and boyfriend is black. Yes. Let me tell you something. 30 years ago, I dated two men of color, and uh, there's a stigma that's still attached to that, even 30 years later. There's a stigma. Crystal, I don't know if you're white, you white girl round the way, um, especially if you're a white girl that's seen with a black man or dating a black man. There's a lot of stigma. There's still a lot of racial prejudice. There's still a lot of bigotry. There's still a lot of disdain for that from other people. And 30 years later, it's still the same. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. Um, and I've always told this to my daughter, and there's other people in her life that don't agree. But love knows no color. I've been with blacks, I've been with Puerto Ricans, I've been with Mexicans, I've been with Italians. I have not just been strictly with a quote unquote white man. So uh, I just don't understand where that comes from. I've never been the one. even when I was a child, that understood that. And my daddy was never racist. I remember hearing racial slurs from other people when I was about 12, 13 years old growing up, and didn't realize the stigma that went along with, in particular, with white women dating or being married to black men. Um, I always believed, and I still believe to this day, and I preached it when I was 17 years old. Love knows no color. Love really doesn't. It doesn't. And I've expressed that to my own child. And it's still to 30 years later after I had relationships with other people of different, color, race, background, etc. It's still a stigma and it's still ridiculous, but it's still out there. It's very prevalent. I don't think it's anything that's ever going to totally dissolve, unfortunately. So, yeah, if you love this man, Crystal, you love him, he loves you, he treats you with respect, and vice versa. He's good to you, he provides, he helps you, whatever's going on. You have a good time together. Who cares? Who cares what anybody else thinks about it? You know, that's your relationship. And that's just the truth. So that's just how I feel. And it's unfortunate. But a lot of people still strongly feel this way and they've felt this way for a really, really long time. So but it's sad that it still goes on. And I don't know why. But yeah, so if I come on here and talk about things and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm speaking my truth. This is not like I get on here and I'm going to pretend to be somebody I'm not, or I'm going to be all bougie. Of course, I'm far from bougie, um, or act all fake and stuff. I'm talking to you about real life things, and whoever comes on and chat, and and that's just the reality of it. And it's many times on social media, we perceive people to think that they have it all together, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or YouTube. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got something they're dealing with. They may not speak about it, they may not showcase it, but everybody's got something going on. So he just called earlier. I told him I was on YouTube talking to someone, so get off the phone. Your dad called or your BF called? I'm on YouTube talking to someone. Ain't got time for that. That's cute. So I live in a small town and um you'd be amazed. I mean, it's like a melting pot of people here, but still you would be amazed at the old school, old old boy mentality when it comes um to race. And it's ridiculous. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. And there's a lot of people that live where I live that agree with that are very liberal, very open minded, and don't stick to um, that old boy mentality. And I just wish things were different. Yeah, the good old boys in West Virginia. Yeah, oh, they're still around. But then there's a lot of people here that are also real liberal, uh, very, very, um, who are just not even don't even look at race, that don't even look at the color of a person's skin that are very much about open community and open arms and all is welcome and I love that about living here too. It's the good old boys that have been here for generations, and that kind of mentality is not going to change because they've just been here for generations. So, um, but yeah, we have interracial couples here. Uh, there's all types of couples here, and it's just not interracial. We have a large gay community 10 miles down the road, and it's just not that. It's just not race. It's just like, and I kind of feel like I just kind of some days I'm just kind of like, oh my God, wake up. It's like, what? Okay, let's get out of the 50s. It's like, come on, come on. It's no big deal. A man and a woman, or whoever should have feel safe to walk down the street and hold hands and be one is white and one is black and feel safe about doing that, you know? Or two men should walk down the street and hold hands and feel safe about doing that. That's how I feel. And you're not going to see that in a small town necessarily. In a city you will, but in a small town not necessarily, no. So even though people uh who do that live here. So, you know what I mean? Do you live in Richmond? Oh, yeah, you're just down the road from me. Used to live in Georgia. It was awful. Was it awful? Was it awful for what? For like racial stuff? You love those little small towns. It feels safe. Yeah. There's a lot of things about a small town's community. It's, familiar people. You know what to expect. Um, that is the nice part about it. We could actually just leave our doors unlocked and nobody would come into this house. I know that. But then there's also, um, like any small town has its problems, has its share of problems, and um, but also at the same time, there's so many different people that live here. Um, it's a melting pot. So where I live, probably much like Richmond. I mean, there's people from all over the world that live here uh, because many of them travel to DC and work, and they live here because it's cheaper. So, uh, that's what I love about it. And growing up here, it's become bigger and larger, and so there's more of a broader uh, community of people, which is awesome. But this whole black and white thing, there's still issues with that around here. And it makes no sense. And I just think these are beliefs and ideas that have been ingrained in people for centuries. That just goes back to generate. It's taught. You know what I mean? It's taught. So living in the South, West Virginia South, Richmond South, living in the South is a little different. Um, it's just unfortunate, but oh yeah, gunshots out your window. Oh, girlfriend, where I used to live down in the ghetto. I love the ghetto though. I miss it sometimes. Oh, there was police on our block every day. So yeah, small towns. They consider where we live. They call it Little Baltimore, and it's just we have some problems. But where we live, we've taken ourselves out of that, and we're more kind of outside the outskirts. Um, we've got homeless here, we have drug problems, we have all sorts of stuff going on. Um, but going back to the whole race relations thing, I just think No parent should disown or even say to the child, I'm going to disown you if you do this. Because that's conditional love. That's not unconditional love. That's conditional. And it's not fair. You know what I mean? So I have to pull my hair back. Getting hot. Been on here 2 hours. Wow. 3:11. 2 hours. I guess I could probably lay down. I think I can. It felt good to come on and talk. You know, it felt good to come on and talk. Because if I didn't do this, I probably just would have watched some dumb movie on Netflix. Oh, Netflix. Probably would have fell asleep watching some dumb movie. But I'm glad I did this instead. So thank you to everybody who hopped on. I think a few people hopped off, but I don't blame you. Hi, CM. I didn't know you were in here. Are you an insomniac too? Do you do anything to remedy that? You didn't run anybody away, sweetheart. You've been watching Dynasty on Netflix? The old Dynasty show? Like the old school Dynasty. What? You didn't run anybody off. Yeah, I'm wide awake tonight. Oh, it's the new version. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I do like the old school Dynasty. I have to watch that. Remember Falcon's Crest? You had Dallas, Falcon's Crest, Dynasty, Knots Landing. They were like all the evening nighttime soap operas. And I love Dynasty. It was so extra. Oh my God. Loved it. CM, you arrived, no sleep. Even watched my grandchildren since 6:15 a.m. Oh wow. That's awesome. I'm glad you came on. I'm about to hop off. But I'm glad you popped on though. I should probably go to bed soon because I have to get up early. But Crystal, everything that I said, I just want you to take that to heart. Don't ever feel like you're alone or feel like you're the only one going through something like that because you're not. You're not. And so that's why I shared that. It's 8:14 a.m. there, so you're 5 hours ahead. Are you in Ireland too, Sam? Cause, cause, who was on earlier? Karen was. Karen was 5 hours ahead. Yeah, CM. Because Karen was on earlier and she said the same time frame. That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us from Ireland. What's happening there this morning? Is it raining? Is it nice? Is it sunny? Is it cool? Is it warm? You listen to the Honest Guys meditations. Try it. I should try that. That's actually a really good idea. I did have podcasts on my phone. I should put that back up there on my phone. It's horrible. The weather's horrible right now. What's going on? What's your season over there right now? What season are you in? We're supposed to get rain. You're in summer. We're in, well, I guess we're kind of still in spring officially. Um, so it's not summer yet. But we get a lot of rain. So we get a lot of rain. So the weather's like moody. It's moody as all get out. Karen, you just got back from the shop, ran out of milk, got the dog sausages. Grand day here. That's awesome. Aw. That's awesome, Karen. Thank you, CMCM. I appreciate that. Thank you. I love that you guys are watching me from across the pond in Ireland, which that's one of my destination dreams is to go to Ireland. Across the pond, so you're 5 hours ahead of me. I always like to know everybody's time zone just to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I know the time differences. So I'm strangely on here real late in the morning. So now's the perfect time you can listen to me as you start your day. Have a fabulous day. It's Thursday. It's June 13th, but it could have been Friday the 13th, which would have been even cooler, but it's only Thursday the 13th. That's okay. We'll take that. That'll work. Yeah, the time differences for people, especially you guys, 5 hours ahead. So let's say if I came on at like 8 o'clock p.m. my time, you'd be in bed. That would be like 1 o'clock in the morning. So, or you'd be up like me. And then I have a lot of people that listen to me from like the West Coast, California. So they're 3 hours ahead. So everybody's time zones are a little different. Listen to Honest Guys Train Journey to the Coast. It's restful. I like that. I'm gonna check that out. Train Journey to the Coast. That sounds nice. Is it just like the train? Like the train's just on a journey? It just shows the train like chugging along on a journey. Now I'm hungry. I shouldn't eat at 3 o'clock in the morning. Should I? Should I? I don't know what there is to eat. I don't know. Maybe I should. How terrible. Well, tomorrow's Thursday. I don't know if I'll have time to do a live tomorrow, but maybe Friday night I can. I think Friday I can. Yeah, I might be able to do that. I'm just kind of talking to myself right now at this point. I'm like, "Ba-da-bop, ba-da-bop." um, no, be o'clock in the day. Won't it here in Ireland confuse here myself? You would confuse a nation. I would confuse a nation if I was the president or the prime minister. They'd all be confused. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So I'm gathering CMCM that the train is on its journey. It's like the video of a train on a journey. Yeah, the noise of a train can be restful. Mhm. I listen to the trains that come through. You can hear them come through our town, and, it's soothing. It's a soothing sound to me when I hear the train whistle or just hear the train, because I grew up hearing it, so it's soothing. So I probably would like that. It's a guided meditation. Is it a guided choo-choo meditation? Like a guided choo-choo train meditation? I do like guided meditation, actually. Back in the day, I used to have a cassette tape. This was way before iPods and iPads and iTunes and, you know, I had a cassette tape and a little cassette player with headphones of a guided meditation, back to back on a cassette tape, and I would put it in. I was like 20 years old, and I would listen to it, and it was guided meditation. But I also like to watch, um, there's a couple of podcasts because I don't do iTunes, I don't have an iPhone. Um, Podbean. There's a lot of podcasts out there, but Podbean has guided meditations. Of course, YouTube, like you mentioned, does. Guided meditations are helpful, especially for people that don't know how to meditate. Um, and meditation is so useful, even if you do it for 5 to 10 minutes. Um, it's very, very useful. It'll change your whole. If I'm really stressed about something, and if I make myself sit down and I do it outside, and I just try to like forget about everything and tune in to the sounds and the birds and feel the sun on my face and hear the crickets or tune into, just like kind of let everything go and just kind of guide myself. Even after 5, 10 minutes, I feel better. And it's a huge stress reliever because sometimes I'll get anxiety about dumb stuff that's not even happening. And I'll get anxious and I'm like, what am I worried about? And it's like nothing's wrong. And so I'll do that with myself. Um, I'll do that a lot sometimes. I'll need earbuds. I got earbuds in right now. So no problemos. The shamanic journey is good too. Takes you to the Akashic field. Ooh, that's awesome. Your anxiety is pretty bad. My anxiety kind of, I don't know if this happens to you, but my anxiety will come and go. Um, it'll come and go. But like this evening, I felt very anxious. And I noticed, and I was taking notice of my anxiety since Saturday, actually. I would kind of feel myself sliding into an anxious thought or an anxious moment, and then realize, hey, everything's fine. You're doing this tomorrow, you got this going on, it's going to be great. Everything's fine. And then I would be like, oh, yeah. And then I'd slip into an anxious thought a few hours later. And I'd have to actually stop myself and think, what am I worried about? Everything's great. That's going on. Da, da. Oh yeah. And my anxiety will come and go. And and then Monday I was fine. Tuesday I was in a funk. Wednesday which was yesterday, going into today, I was better. And of course now I can't sleep. But yeah, my anxiety comes and goes. You get anxiety around a lot of people, like in stores. Oh, me too. Good Lord. Good grief. I go weed in the garden with a flashlight late at night if I can't sleep. Aw, That sounds nice. Fellas in the white coats will be coming over to walk for me one of the nights. No, I like night gardening. Night gardening, that sounds nice. Yeah, anxiety really springs up for a lot of people. My boyfriend doesn't like to be out in large crowds like at Walmart. It freaks him out. He's like, I gotta get out of here. It's just too much. Big stores like that. And I don't have a problem if I go to like a concert. My nose. A concert where there's thousands of people. That doesn't bother me. It's more of the smaller places with too many people or too many people bumping into you or not paying attention or being obnoxious or being rude or you're trying to navigate your way. Um, I don't do too well in busy subways. I kind of freak out. Um, always feel like I'm going to lose something. But yeah, so yeah, anxiety kind of comes and goes for me. So and then when your anxiety's going, you're like, what am I? Why am I anxious? When you stop yourself and you think, what am I anxious about? Is it really tangible? Is it there? What I'm anxious about? No, it's not there. Is it really happening? No, it's not happening. Is it something I really need to worry about? No. And then when you kind of stop yourself and look at it, it's like it's just amazing the power of what your mind can do to take you there. You know, it's like what? And so since Saturday, I've been mindfully practicing catching myself and anxious thoughts like that. Makes no sense. Mhm. Yeah, even though nothing's wrong, CMCM, it's overwhelming. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. The world is fine in your world. Everybody's safe. Everybody's happy. Everybody's fed. The bills are paid. The lights are on. There's, gas in the car. There's money in the bank. There's like, and nobody's sick. Nobody's died. Nobody's like, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. But this thought will just creep into your mind and you'll start to be like, and you, and it's dumb stuff. Like I'll start to worry about dumb stuff. So I purposely have caught myself doing it. Um, I don't know what that is about. I really don't. I don't, and it comes and goes. It's not all the time, but it's really weird. But it's real. The moon and the tides affect us empaths. Yeah. So the full moon's on Monday. I know there's other astrological events happening. Somebody was talking about solar storms are happening right now. Google solar storm if you know anything about it. Solar storms are happening and it can really kind of affect stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I think anxiety is more common than people say it is. I mean, everybody suffers from worry or negative thought or anxiety or they're anxious or nervous or obsessing over something that's stupid. And I think everybody has anxiety in one shape or form or as minimal or as maximum. Everybody has anxiety. So, not today, Satan, not today. Um, Your brain won't shut up, Sam Sam. I hear that. Well, it can't be our fault. I know. Yeah, our brains, our minds. There's something else in them. It's something else. I'll say that. I'll say for sure. All right, ladies. I think I'm ready for sleep. I think I'm ready for sleep now. I'm looking at the title I put in. Can't sleep. Insomniac Wednesday full moon countdown. Mystic Village. What was I thinking when I wrote that? Oh, Crystal, I'm so glad you came on. I think you came on for a reason. I really do. I think you need to talk about stuff and to hear stuff. You know what I mean? I'm glad you came on too. I really do. I'm glad you came on. I'm glad Sam's here and Karen and Crystal, of course. And who else popped on? Did anybody else pop on? I can't remember. But yeah, no, thank you guys for being on with me. It was fun. I really appreciate it. But I think it's time for night nights for Brookie in the village. I'm gonna go in my village bed with the village gentleman. Um, and go to village sleep. So I love you guys. Thanks for popping on. And I'll be back on soon. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow's Thursday. Maybe Friday evening or Saturday. I don't know yet. We'll see how. Bye, everybody. I am tired now. He was right about the meat guy. I know after what you told. She's like, yeah, they're all felons. Of course they're hustlers. I was like, great. I feel better now. Oh my God. Innocent, naive little me is like, sure, come on in. I don't know what got into me. I really don't. Oh. Night, Karen. Night, Crystal. Night, Sam. Night, Emma. Night, everybody. Have a good night. Have a happy day in Ireland. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. I am signing off. Bye. Bye bye. Good night, everybody. Have a great day today. Okay, bye bye. Make good choices. Don't hear voices or call me. And anxious thoughts. You tackle those anxieties one after the other. Good night and good day. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.